operating on borrowed time. Detonate, our last book, was our call to selectively blow up the foundations of past success to allow for forward progress. Provoke is about looking forward and working through the natural human instincts that keep people frozen in place, thinking and analyzing. It is about forcefully gathering the will to act in the face of deepening uncertainty and do something. Part 1. Predictable Patterns. Chapter 1. Patterns from the Past. 1.75%? Why would I care? Asked the senior executive as he flippantly tossed the PowerPoint page onto his conference table, put his foot on the table, leaned back in his chair, and yes, stuck his hand into his pants like Al Bundy in the 1990s sitcom Married with Children. Steve and his colleague exchanged a knowing glance. They'd worked together for 15 years, and by that point they basically shared a brain, which at that point was thinking, is this guy for real? They were in his lavish office, sitting at his conference table. Steve noticed the golf trophies, pictures with celebrities, and large and expensive desk. The office screamed, "I'm successful!" It was 2009, and given the difficult economic climate, Steve and his colleague were being especially aggressive in getting out to meet new executives. They'd done some work for a large diversified media and communications company, creating a segmentation of consumer behavior in its industry. Their client, pleased with the work, was looking to present it at an upcoming industry conference and wanted to get some reactions from executives at peer companies, hence the reason they were sitting in Al Bundy's office. The work they were sharing included a detailed segmentation of the consumer landscape for communications services like internet, phone, video, and television packages, and security. They had surveyed thousands of customers about their behaviors and actions. The survey revealed the typical and expected results. When people got married or had families, their internet and video usage dramatically changed from when they were single. Expenditure on things like pay-per-view and other channels tended to be higher among this group. With more devices in the house, they also were willing to pay for higher internet bandwidth. This wasn't news. Companies in this space knew and loved these customers. They paid their bills on time, they didn't move, and as a result, they didn't churn. And back in 2009, they probably had a landline, too. Therefore, if you successfully acquired one of these customers, you were likely to retain them, leading to a steady, predictable stream of revenue. At the other end of the spectrum were the singles. They typically lived in an apartment and had more focused communications needs. This was a group that tended to select the most basic internet and television packages. Sometimes this choice was driven by personal preference. Think people who like to read at night. But sometimes this was driven by affordability, where having lots of channels could be expensive. You could predict the reasons for this choice based on income levels, typically tied to specific geographic locations, and whether the home was rented or owned. Some singles with higher disposable income bought a more comprehensive communications package, but it typically included just video and internet. Even in 2009, this group didn't want a landline. A mobile phone was just fine for them. These singles, perhaps because of their income or preferences, were willing to spend more on faster internet speeds and specialty channels. Because of the high capital intensity of the communications and entertainment distribution market, players in this industry wanted to win all of these customers. It wasn't economically viable to focus on just one segment, so Steve's work was designed to help companies customize their product, pricing, and marketing messages to better target the needs of each of these groups. For instance, if you had an area that over-indexed on owned homes, that was a sign that there were probably a lot of families with kids, and you'd advertise a comprehensive package. If you were targeting an urban area with a lot of apartment renters, you'd make